Summer Palace, hanging out with Levi, waiting for your stuff so you could then depart for the other side of the continent where Levi has uncovered a mining operation that he would like to use your skills and services to restructure under a new corporate umbrella.
A hostile takeover, if you will.
Exactly. And so you had spent breakfast learning about the rock that you had carried across the continent that you had identified as coffee table, Atlas. And then you were given some new toys to play with. And then you were told you have the place to yourself, do as you please. And so we'll end on breakfast and go from there. Obviously, ALR, you already went and looked up you know, the Yellow Road's territory and stuff like that, so you still know all that. I'm skipping back to breakfast so you guys can have the day to do whatever you want.
I thought we had left already.
No.
We weren't on a boat?
No, you were going to be on a boat, but you wanted to wait for your cargo wagon to show back up.
Oh, it's not here yet?
No.
It
was
okay.
3 days out.
It's literally in the song. I'm on a boat, motherfucker. Don't you ever forget.
But you're not on a boat.
Exactly. Which means you already forgot if he was or was not on a boat.
Which I guess is proof that we weren't on a boat.
Truly a dizzying intellect. I actually have friends that were in the Navy version when the Navy did a whole bunch of people got together and just took random clips of the song. I know some of the people in that video. But anyway, so yeah, you guys have the day. And, as you start filing out from breakfast after Levi had departed, Valen, looks over you guys and says, your rooms will remain, kept and remain paired for you until your departure. Lunch will be served throughout the house. You need not return to the dining room forward. Just simply tell a member of staff where you intend to settle, and the kitchen will find you. Library, music room, the garden lounge, theater, baths, study, and terrace and gardens are all available to you. The western side of the house is mostly the staff area. You may enter, but I recommend you ask first. And Mr. Lexington's private rooms remain private. If there's someone within the household you wish to speak with, you may simply ask and we can locate them for you. And then Levi comes back in and he's like, oh, it should take about 3 days for your guys' wagons to get across the bridge and around the lake. At least if nothing waylays them. Try not to spend all of them proving that you can sit still. Then he turns around and walks back out. But yeah, this is open downtime, so you're not limited. You don't have to select, I just do one thing for 3 days. You can, explore the state, talk to NPCs, research, investigate, socialize, work on personal projects.
Well, I think exploring the library sounds like a good idea. See what all interesting and unique books you might have.
All right. Anything in particular you're looking
Yeah,
for?
Samuel goes with him.
I would say history books.
All right. Roll me a D100 then as you start perusing.
now.
I want to look for non-religious religious texts.
So, like old god religious text?
Yes, stuff on
Okay.
stuff.
So
before.
pre-collapse.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Pre-collapse god stuff. Yeah, that'd be. So you have a higher significant understanding of religion in the setting itself. So you know of the Wheel of the 13, and then you know that before that it was the 12 pillars, and at some point, it's all the same gods, but the distinction is that at some point in the pre-collapse there was the 12 pillars, and now the dominant religion is the Wheel of the 13. But from anybody important enough to care's perspective, they're the same gods. It was just like there was a restructuring at some point.
Why? Good question.
Well, roll me a D100 as you research historical. Because there is, like, of the hundreds and hundreds of books in here, it's a large library. There are a decent amount. I'd say probably about 10% of them are like preserved pre-collapse or reprinted pre-collapse books. But the problem is because of the Age of Fractures and then also the pre-collapse having its own historical timeline, there's no real this book is 8,000 years old or whatever. It's just clearly using the date structure from the pre-collapse. How old it actually is uncertain. So if you ask me how old the book is, your character wouldn't know.
Right, but all that's irrelevant anyway.
Depends.
I mean, I don't care if it was written last week or last century. If it has information on what I'm looking for, I can use it.
Just show me what I'm looking for.
All right, you roll a D100.
Yeah, I got a 47.
All right. Well, Laird, for general history, you find some very interesting books about the architectural design of the. Sorry, I had to skip through a couple tabs.
Mhm.
Architectural design of structures in the pre-collapse, and that there is typically 3 distinct variations. There is a point where runes were excessively dominant in design, so magical arcane runes.
Mhm.
And then there was a point where more of a Gothic style Roman columns and big vaulted ceilings and everything was much more prevalent. And then there was a point where both seemed relevant. And that's the book that you find.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And then for Mr. Oh, let's see, 40. That's you find a book comparing the 12 pillars to the Wheel of the 13 and establishing that they were the same gods, but somebody added the 13th god. Like it's a theoretical argument that the 13th god isn't real.
Okay. I'm gonna spend time researching that.
Yep. All right. Does anybody go to not the library? Alar's already in there. He's doing his research on the where you guys are going region wise. So he's done that already. So that leaves Vax. What are you doing with your first day?
Well, let's see. What does Vex want to do with?
I mean, I guess it would be you've been here a little bit, so you know the grounds, you know the orchards to the north, you know the forested like grove area to the by the waterfront, and you know where the beach is. Although now there's a bunch of sailors there that weren't there before.
Okay. Vex just needs to. I don't really know what I have to do. I don't really have to do anything.
Well, that's the thing is you don't You have no agenda. You're a character. What would your character do?
Correct. And Vex didn't have to do anything. So to be honest with you, Vex is just gonna lay around and be a lazy piece of shit today.
Yeah. Lunch comes. Staff members ask you guys what you want to eat. Food is adequately prepared. You're served. And the second half of the day goes on. And then, as dinner approaches, some of the staff find you guys and asked if you would like to join Levi in the Lantern Arbor for dinner.
Oh, I certainly most do.
Sure.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, dinner gathers everyone in the Lantern Arbor. The room has changed again since breakfast. Daylight has faded from the garden doors, leaving the arbor lit by suspended lanterns and the low glow reflected from the windows. Alar, you would realize that the table you destroyed has been replaced.
Okay.
There are now 3 tables again.
But are they more reinforced?
One way to find out.
Well, you do notice that the new table seems to have a little bit more steel and stud riveting, holding its beams and boards together. But the other 2 still look like the tables that you remember from breakfast. Why upgrade them all when you just upgrade them one at a time as they get destroyed, right?
Yep.
And Levi attends the beginning of dinner and joins you guys and asks you about your day and if you found anything interesting to do.
I tell him, I found some interesting, an interesting book about archaeology, architecture in his library there, and how
Yes.
it's interesting about tracking how things before they fell.
Yes. The 3 proposed ages of the pre-collapse. One of magic, one of structure, and one of both.
Quite interesting to see how they evolved.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, once everybody's settled, the first course is served. You guys see Valen come in and goes up to Levi, talks to him for a moment, whispering in his ear. And then Levi sets down his glass and says, well, I apologize. I have another engagement this evening that will take me away from you. Had not expected it to overlap with dinner with you, but important men have a remarkable talent for arriving at inconvenient hours.
Anyone we know?
Oh, it's not important. And as he, gets up and starts to rise and turn, the northern doors, which you would know because they had been open at some point previously, lead to the more formal, larger dining room, open, and a person half steps in. A half elf. Appears to be middle in his years, broad through the shoulders, gray beginning at his temples. He wears no ceremonial clothing, but he is wearing fine travel clothes and doesn't look like he's armed or carrying any obvious weapons. but his posture is a settled weight of someone accustomed to command without needing to demonstrate it. And he looks across all of you, and he looks at Levi and he says, "Ah, so this is them." And Levi laughs and says, "Indeed."
Ah, you guys have made quite a name for yourselves. I see.
And Levi crosses to him and places a hand on his shoulders and just kind of begins gently turning him back north to the doors. "I'll be with you shortly." And Alaric,
Yes.
you recognize this man. You
How
last saw him 7 years ago when you were in Ghent. And it was an important time because it was one of the Iron Votes. And that is the military seat on the Republic Council gets elected.
Ah.
So there's all kinds of, normal political advertising, and his face was plastered everywhere because he was the popular vote, so everybody wanted him in. And so for the guard and the march voting, so you recognize him almost immediately as he steps in.
Mhm. I take it that he won the vote.
Yes, he
Alright.
is currently the Iron
Ah.
Vote. That's the highest military rank in the march in
Gotcha.
Ghent. 3,000 miles away from
like
here.
that he won the vote.
Your character wouldn't particularly have any opinions of it the other way. Alaric's character really wouldn't have opinions of the other way because he wasn't really, military growing up. He was a street rat.
Yeah.
But
Just know
he
enough about him
recognizes
that
the
yeah.
guy. Yeah. Yeah, so he is the man selected by the soldiers of Wedlamar through the Iron Vote. He is the most powerful military figure in the Republic and pretty much the Northern Hemisphere at that. And he has just walked casually into Levi Lexington's dining room.
Yes.
What does Alaric do when he recognizes him?
Tries to play it cool. Not gonna try to avoid eye contact, but also not gonna be like, oh my god, it's the most important man I know of.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, so all the other seats on the Republic are either Commonwealth vote is one of them, but then the rest of them are typically like buy-ins. Like it's I think it's 2 million gold a year is what I have written down for the seats to sit on the council.
Right. Yeah. So it's still a bit, but I'll definitely make a note of that. That he and Levi are, if not buddy, then still know each other at least.
Yes. And more importantly, he knows you guys.
Hmm.
Maybe not in name, but in spirit at least.
Ah, yes.
But yeah, Levi ushers him out, makes no effort to make an introduction, and then excuses himself and apologizes for the interruption and heads to the doors behind him. So yeah, you guys are left to dinner yourselves. Is there anything you guys would like to do besides eat? There's no staff in the room right now either. You guys are alone amongst yourselves around a table.
Uh,
I'll relay that fact to everybody there that he's well connected in Ghent, and if anybody doesn't remember the city that we were in, I just give them the Spark Notes version of that.
so, I guess my question would be for you, since you know him. Does he have a magical presence about him?
Would I be able to sense that? No.
I mean, define what you mean by magical presence.
I mean, like if I were
he look-
to
he-
attempt to eavesdrop by being a sneaky little bastard, am I gonna? Is he gonna be like, "Ah, you fucking idiot, I see you," kind of thing? So that's what I really mean. But like asking, is he?
if you're
magically
chatting amongst a
capable?
party and asking, I guess you guys could roll insight for, no, the vibe check.
Well, if he knows the guy, right?
I mean, I only know by.
Well, it's more like it's more like the governor or a senator. That's what he means by he knows. He recognizes the face because it was plastered everywhere. Not like he sat down and shook the man's hand.
Got it.
Yeah, it's not like we were buddy buddy or anything. You know, it's more just like again, no through reputation.
I don't know. Does he have a reputation for being a caster?
No, he's an incredibly powerful martial individual.
See.
One of the
Okay.
most popular stories would be. Let me see. I have that one written down. Realm Helgameka. Public.
So basically, what I'm getting at here is, I would like to wild shape and turn myself into the smallest thing I can think of, and go sneaky.
All right.
Call it. Can I get down to bug size?
Just be aware that you get the perception of what you wild shape, and you don't get your ears and eyes.
Ah,
So if you wild shape into a fly, you can see something,
but it's not going to be.
but you're not going to have the greatest audio reception. Yes.
I need. What's a good animal that has audio reception?
Bat.
Yeah. Bats aren't very stealthy. Let's see.
You could turn into like a house cat or something. Nobody ever looks twice at a house cat.
Yeah, but do they even have house cats on the property?
You haven't seen any cats inside, but you have seen cats on the property.
Have I seen anything inside the property?
It's a very high-end, well-maintained villa.
So
You haven't
no.
even seen so much as a mouse.
Yeah, okay. Because if I turn into a cat, they're just gonna fucking.
Chew you
Shoot
out,
me.
yeah.
So
Yeah, so-
spiders have a passive perception of 10 and 30 feet of dark vision.
I'm cool with, but do they have ears? Because I really just want to know what they're talking about.
I have no idea if spiders have ears or not.
Oh my god, Acrobat is being painfully slow. I'm just trying to get down to my shit. This is crazy. Yeah, fuck it. We'll try
Yes.
a spider, and if it goes bad,
Spiders can hear. They don't have ears, but they can hear.
spiders
Yeah,
can
they-
hear.
They
Perfect.
sense vibration, yeah.
Turn into a spider.
All right. But anyway, real quick before you you wander off, Alaric, the one story you remember, the reason he got the nickname the Iron Marshal is because he challenged 4 council members in a single day to fight him simultaneously in a 4v1 duel, which he won.
Obviously, yes.
Good show, old
Pretty
boy.
badass.
Good show.
But yeah, his overall reputation is just feared and respected. Not feared in a bad way, just like people are skittish around him, feared because he's that guy.
Right, right.
He is a soldier's soldier. But so, Vex Spider.
Yep.
Where would you like to go?
Vex, Spider, when they left the room,
Mhm.
did they turn left out of the door, right out of the door?
Well, it's a connected dining room.
What do you mean?
So there's, heavy set double doors to your north from the dining room that you're in. Those heavy set double doors go into a large grand dining room.
And they are
me get the map.
supposedly in the large grand dining room.
Well, that's the door that they went through.
Okay, well then that's where I want to go.
Let me get. I might have that map still. Do I not have that map?
Sorry, I don't need a map. I'm just gonna go in there and post up in a silly little corner.
All right. Yeah, you slip under the crack in the door, and yeah, you can see them, and they're sitting. Neither of them is sitting at the head of the table, but they are sitting at one end next to each other.
Wait, what?
So, okay, like a long dining table, right?
Yep.
So they're both sitting at one end, so they're sitting in a corner next to each other, but
Got it.
neither of them is sitting at the head. So they're both sitting on the long side of the table.
Bunch of weirdos.
Well,
Okay.
look relaxed, like they're having a conversation with each other.
All right. I can't hear the conversation at this moment.
No, at this you're about 40 feet away. It's too quiet.
Okay.
Like
well,
they're speaking in low tones.
Well, let's get a little closer then.
All right. Yeah. You start making your way. So, how do you want to get a little closer? You're going on the walls, going on the ceiling, going on the floor, straight to them.
So they're on the. Are they on the opposite side, like facing the door, or are their backs to the door?
Let me get the map because then you'll have a better understanding. Okay. I have re-downloaded it. Re-upload it. Okay. So you see the big grand staircase in the middle of the picture.
Hold on. Oh, I'm in our private messages. That's why. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Directly to the left of that is a giant table with a bunch of chairs.
The big long one. Yep.
Yes. You are coming from the room directly south of that through a set of double doors.
Okay.
They are on the far top right in those two chairs.
Okay, I just want to go on the floor and go to the left. Go right underneath the chairs on the left side.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Start making your way over there. But yeah, as you get close, you can hear Carvin's voice. It's low and displeased, like he's upset about whatever they're talking about. And he says, Marion, with a very questioning, Marion? He also says it with a bit of a unpleasant demeanor to his word. Levi answers calmly, no. Marion wants to be recognized. He wants to injure. He wants every injury to carry his signature, even when he hires someone else to hold the knife. He does have people in the Republic, Carvin counters. Well, he has people everywhere. Coin and resentment overlap. That is not the same thing. But the officers being moved are not candidates. The contracts being shifted are not especially profitable. Road wardens, armory clerks, grain transport, archive custodians, message routes. Yes, whoever they are, they're not choosing who wins the iron vote. Then what are they doing? Continuity. Making sure the winner inherits the correct machinery. And there's a longer pause. Then Carvin speaks again. You think this is larger than the seat. I think the seat may be the least important part. And then you hear clinking like glasses and what sounds like eating. Seems like they have stopped talking and are now consuming food.
Okay. How long was that whole interaction of me walking, turning into a spider, and finishing that whole conversation? You think?
Like from when they left, like when Levi left, Alaric discussed and talked with you guys for a little bit, then you guys discussed and talked a little bit, so probably 5-10 minutes between when they
Okay,
left and you turned into a spider.
So I got at least another minute before.
I was gonna say, yeah, that you. Well, I mean, how long does the wild shape last? An hour?
Or not? No. Does my what?
Let's say, does wild shape have a duration? I thought it did.
2 hours.
2 hours? Yeah, you have plenty of time.
Yeah.
Like,
so
barely any time has passed. Like you've literally been a spider for 10 minutes, if that.
Okay, so look around the room. There's just one door in, one door out, huh?
No, there are several doors. There are the two massive sliding doors to the what would be your east, or would be the east, and that you would know from the other side connects to the grand staircase, the main central connection area of the house where everything kind of branches off from. To the north is another pair of similar doors to the ones in the south, and then along the western wall, there is one obvious door, and from your experience in the house, you know there's probably one or maybe two staff doors that are concealed into the architecture.
Okay. Well, so here's what I want to do then.
You want to do them as
No.
a spider? That's kinky.
Spiders crawl up inside the asshole. I just want to get close enough to where I can still hear them, but also far enough away that if they decide to get up and, well, we're guests in the house, so we're free to like not have dinner and all that shit, right? Like we're not confined to the
you were called to dinner. You weren't told you must be in this room at this time.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, you
Well, then
you
I'm
could
just
leave
gonna
dinner
keep-
early and go to your room. Nobody's gonna stop you.
I am just gonna keep sitting here for as long as I can, and if they say something else, great. If they don't, I'll leave like 10 minutes before my wild shape ends.
All right.
Basically.
Well, you sit there and they're eating, and it doesn't sound like they're having any important conversation. You hear conversation about the shipping lanes and the March organization structure, all things that aren't secrets or hidden things. It's just they seem to be just talking about business as usual. Nothing significant is in the remainder of their conversation.
Okay.
As for the rest of the party, Vex has fucked off, and you guys are sitting there enjoying your dinner alone. Does anybody else do anything?
Nah.
I mean, if there's nothing substantial, I'll just come back. I'll just come back into the
Yeah, you're. Well,
dining
you said you're
space.
going to wait till 10 minutes, so I mean that's a decent amount of time that's going to pass. So eventually they do finish eating and leave through the northern doors. So that would probably be an hour or so into your wild shape.
All right. Well, look around and follow him a little bit.
All right. Well, they both go north. Then they both go east, and that connects out into the. That map isn't to scale. It's just a rough approximation of what the house looks like. I'm still working on the true map because of all of the weird connections that I have to make everywhere. That was just to give you guys something to visualize the house. But they go east, connect back out into the grand hall foyer area. But this is like the front entry. A little bit nicer than the back entry. And Carmen goes through the front door out of the building. And Levi goes east through a single door.
Okay. Then I'm. Is it worth following Levi around or no?
It's up to you. It's your wild shape.
Nah, I'll just go back to the party.
All right. Yeah. You clickety clackety as a spider back to the party. And they're all finishing up their food.
Then I'll do the whole not a spider thing anymore and tell them what I heard and yeah.
Interesting. Do I know who this Marion might be?
The name's familiar to you guys from the previous conversations you guys have had with Levi, as he had informed you that was the individual that was responsible for the bandits in Ardenshire.
Ah.
But until now, the name's only ever come out of Levi's mouth. This is the first time you'd have heard it come out of somebody else's mouth.
Well then, well, once done eating, I think I'm just gonna head back to my room and relax the rest of the night. Yes.
All right. Oh, I started working on the tactical map, but I still have to finish it. Because that particular program doesn't do really well with elevation changes. It's all flat maps, so that would be in the portfolio of the mine that Levi gave you guys this morning.
Okay.
So there's a palisade wall, a ramp that leads down, and then one, like, you know, a quarry wall where it's mined out and then it goes down a layer, it's mined out in a smaller area, and it goes down a layer and it's mined out. So that's the southwest or southeastern, like that's like 3 different tiers that are about 20 feet elevation different from each other. And that's all below terrain. And then the other side is a large spiral that goes down, and there's a lot of holes in that outer wall. Like they were spiral mining down and then mining tunnels whenever they hit a vein.
Gotcha. And what's
Like I
that
said,
bit to the southwest?
the southwest, that's a like a wooden palisade wall.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
That's the that's so there's a gate on the angled bit that's true southwest.
Mhm.
And then on the far side of that is the ramp down into the mines.
Ah,
and
gotcha. All right, I see.
That's what the little dick is. That's the ramp.
All right.
So yeah, that's all. The palisade walls are at terrain 0. The first like major outer layer is at like terrain -20, and then -40, -60. The ramp goes all the way down to -60 with bits that branch off for each elevation change. Like I said, it's really hard to draw elevation changes flatly on that like program. So that's where I had it that looked okay, and then I lost that entire thing. So I just I drew up a quick one. This was the one that I drew up quickly a while ago, and I've been working on other stuff like Soul
No,
Magic
it
and stuff
works.
like that lately. So I completely forgot that I don't have a good map. So I apologize.
All good, Mike.
But yeah. Anybody do anything else, or is everybody just gonna go to bed?
Yeah, I'm really tired of being a spider and had a really
Yeah, we're going
big
to bed.
day. Being sneaky and shit.
All right. Yeah. And so you all go to sleep. Morning comes, and you have all successfully had a long rest for anything that matters for anybody.
I think today I'm just going to explore the grounds.
All right. All right. Let me find. Apparently, I didn't save them on my fucking computer. Thought I did. The maps. All right. The Summer Palace. This is the grounds.
Oh wow. I think we're
Yeah,
gonna
so-
work counterclockwise from like that foresty area all
right.
the way around to the dock, basically.
All right. So yeah, so you start down in the. It's basically like a like a park. I don't know what the
Mhm.
technical term is for like a private. Like it's a nice forested area with walking paths. I don't know what that's called. Like there's a couple of gazebos in it that you can like relax
garden?
and read. And not really a garden though, because it's not like curated like the garden actually is.
So more like an arboretum.
Yeah, I guess that would be the most correct. It's just mostly trees and bushes. There's a couple flowers here and there. Obviously, it looks like it is well taken care of, so clearly Manuel's, handiwork is visible. But yeah, are you looking for
Yeah.
anything particular, or are you just
No,
exploring?
just exploring. Just kind of roving about. Just seeing
Yeah.
what's what.
What's your passive?
My passive is 9.
All right. Is anybody else exploring with him, or is you guys want to do other stuff? Like this is
I'll
I'll
explore with
explore
him.
with him. I got nothing else to do.
all right. Yeah, this is extended downtime, so you guys can pursue other stuff. You don't have to just do what everybody else is doing. Like you guys have other items in your possession. Like there's the safe. Um,
Oh yeah, we do have the safe.
there's also the oh, fucking hell. I had a list too. Damn it.
Wasn't the safe in the cart?
Yeah, it was.
So it's still like 2 days away.
Hmm. All right. I guess everybody goes with Alaric. Well, Vex and Samuel said they were. Are you going as well, Ayla, or are you going elsewhere?
No, I'm in the library.
All right. All right.
Good
So yeah, the three
nerd.
of you start exploring the arboretum, place full of trees. And yeah, it's it's late fall, so a lot of the trees have leaved out and everything like that. So, but it's still nice, well maintained paths, pleasant to walk around in.
Hmm. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I just take my time. Just a nice stroll.
Yeah, and as you're you're strolling around, kind of wandering through the paths. There doesn't seem to be you take this path in a specific order. They're just a bunch of connected paths. And
Mhm.
eventually you end up on that, little smaller southern dock.
Okay.
And there's a couple of the sailors, you remember them from the ship, hanging out there, with fishing poles. And they greet you when they see you because they remember you from the ship.
I return the
And
greeting.
ask you how your stay at the end. They, you can tell that they're somewhat jesting, but they say the Grand Summer Palace. How is your stay?
Well, the stay is quite grand. How you guys doing? How's the fishing?
Ah, nothing bites around here.
Damn shame. The water looks nice.
We just take bets on who can cast the furthest.
Well, I shall not take up any more of you guys' time. Do enjoy. I just kind of go by that house or whatever building that is that's near that little small dock, and then just kind of make my way up north.
Yeah. That looks like as as you're looking in and passing through the area. It looks like basically like a small, almost like a guest house. Like you can see in the windows, they're not shuttered or anything like that, but it looks like there's a bunk bed and a small kitchenette.
Oh,
Sleeping on one side, kitchen on the other.
does it look like it's currently being used, like say for the Iron Marshal there, or is that or is it all covered up and still like in storage?
There's no lamps or anything on. You don't see anybody inside. The chimney is not smoking. Your best guess is it doesn't look like it's being currently used.
Okay. Well, not wanting to poke too much into anything that's not currently being used or not even used, I'll just keep making my way up north to like like the more maintained part of that arboreum, and then up and around.
Yeah, you start making your way to the north, and yeah, there's a small pasture with it looks like two horses and somebody's training. Well, it looks like a dwarf. You recognize him as the guy that came in with the adamantine knife.
Ah, I
Um,
decided to stop and watch him train the horses.
yeah, he sees you stop, and he nods. And then to the east of that, that is bees.
Ah, the bees. I stay well away
Yes,
from the bees.
dozens of beehives. Oh, you don't want to get close to the
Yeah,
beehives?
no, I'm good.
All right, yeah. Then you continue on, and
Hmm.
the complex to the north you can clearly see is stables and horses and wagons and a couple of carriages, all tucked underneath some roofs and
How many
horses.
horses would I roughly guess are here?
Based on the number of stables and the massive pasture to your east that you can see a couple dozen horses roaming around, um, you'd say there's probably enough room that you could comfortably put anywhere between 80 and 100 horses in this area.
Horses.
But yeah, from what you can see, there's probably about half
But
that.
did they get the horse master?
Did they what? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Did they get the horse master?
Did they get the horse master?
Never mind.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. You were quiet.
It's all right. It was a reference.
Yeah, you continue through there. There's a couple people working on saddles. Looks like they're prominent with leather working. And then at the very northeast, there's a blacksmith you can see tinkering away on. Looks like he's making some nails for some reason that seem reasonably heavy duty.
Neat, neat. Is that a greenhouse I spy?
On the far west,
Yes.
yes. So if you continue the clockwise or the counterclockwise, you'd go through the orchards, which again late fall, not a lot of leaves or fruit on
Yeah.
them, but you'd guess that they're non I don't know what's an apple and a pear, like not a citrus tree because they're slightly different in how they grow. But you'd guess they're apple and pear trees.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go for those, and then spying the greenhouse, I'll take a look and see what's in there.
Yeah, you guys make your way around through the orchards, and at the very north, the main gate, you can see there's a rather large building attached to it, and it looks like there's probably 2 dozen people or so in there, just milling about. Some of them look like they're sitting bored. It looks like there's one or two guys watching the gate.
Hmm.
And you make your way past that, through the rest of the orchards, just following the path, and you eventually get to the greenhouse. And inside, you can see an assortment of flowers on one area, and then a bunch of smaller bushes and plants in another area, and then a couple of trees. It's a large greenhouse.
Oh, yeah. How can I tell what kind of trees they are?
Well, one of them looks like an orange tree
Alright.
because you can see oranges on it.
That'll help narrow that down. Yeah. Maybe the other one's a pineapple tree.
Nope.
I don't think pineapples grow on trees. I think
Oh yeah. I don't.
they
Wait,
kind of
what
just.
they?
Well, I mean, they are.
But either way, you don't see any pineapples in the entire
Gotcha.
greenhouse. Yes. So actually, that's a funny thing you'd mention, and Connie's character would know even better. Pineapples only grow in one place in my setting, and even if you try to transplant them, they don't grow elsewhere. For some reason. It's also the same place that the agave fruit only grows. So they have a monopoly on pineapples and tequila.
They have a monopoly on Bahama Mamas.
But yeah, do you want to go in the greenhouse? The
Yeah.
big doors.
I want to go inside. Take a look.
Yeah, you go inside the greenhouse and you're greeted by, the warmer air compared to the outside
Oh,
chill
yeah.
of the late fall.
Feels like summer.
hmm Nice and humid. Yeah, you're perusing and poke around. There's lots of plants in here. Most of them you're sitting there scratching your head going, what in the fuck is this thing?
Yeah, I do archaeology, not biology. But it's still pretty neat. It's like, oh, cool.
Vex knows every single one of them.
Oh yeah.
Fucking tree hugger. So yeah, as you're scratching your head, Vex is like, oh yeah, that's a oh fuck, I had
So
list
smart, the
too.
narrator can't even keep up.
Yeah. No, I had a list of what I had in here too, but again, it has been so long
Sure.
since I designed this, I don't remember where the fuck it is because I don't
I
know if
want
it's
to
in the
hear what kind of
conversation.
fucking trees I know.
The green kind.
The green kind.
Yes, you don't know any other colored trees. Only green ones. You
Sounds
skipped
like
that day in class when there were blue trees.
Sounds like I have a prejudice against other trees of a different
Yes. But yeah,
color.
there's one of each kind of like citrus tree. So there's a lemon tree, there's a lime tree, there's an orange tree. There's a couple of different berries.
Cool. I don't know. After poking and looking around at all the things I don't know of, I'll just continue on down south there and then wrap up at the dock. Yep, the other
Yeah.
dock.
Yep. The main dock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you head out the southern doors of the greenhouse, you see to your east, it looks like there's a smaller garden, mostly done and cultivated, but there is, some garlic bulbs planted, and it looks like it is a fully self-sustained estate from everything you've seen. Like they could survive a siege.
Yeah,
They
they
have
basically have
everything.
everything.
But then you continue on south, and you come into what appears to be a rather large training yard. There's dummies and archery targets, and you immediately see Talia at the top of a 20-foot post, standing on one foot, looking down at you.
I give her a wave.
She waves back. Get bored of the library?
No, I just want to get some fresh air and see what else is all around here. A very interesting greenhouse you guys have.
Oh yeah, don't get Manuel started on all of his precious plants.
Oh, I most certainly won't.
And then she jumps. So there's 4 posts. All of them about 5-foot elevation, so 20, 15, 10, 5. And they're all about 10 feet apart from each other. And she jumps from the 20-foot post and lands on the 15-foot post on 1 foot.
Mm-hmm.
And just keeps talking to you.
Yeah. Fancy footwork you got there.
Well, balance is important.
Indeed it is. I prefer to set things on fire, but to each our own.
Yeah, I prefer this. And she pulls out, looks like a small, very light framed dagger, and throws it and hits the dead center of one of the archery targets. It's about 40 feet away.
Very nice.
But fireworks too.
Yeah. But okay, hey. Yeah. Whatever works that gets the job done. Anyway, I won't keep you busy from your training there. Nice seeing you. I just mosey on along.
Yeah. And she she curtsies, says goodbye, and then Vex, you have a high passive, right? I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, so Vex, you would notice it looks like she almost laughs at a joke that nobody made. You can see the expression on her face. It looks like she wasn't responding to you guys as you guys are leaving.
Somebody
Oh,
got a
so the bitch is crazy. Okay.
Somebody got a little scanny scan.
A candy scan?
A scanny scan, something like divine sense or anything.
You mean the paladin that's walking right next to you? Samuel?
Quite literally the paladin that's walking right next to me.
I take it you want me to do something? Yeah. No, I can't divine sense.
Yeah. And divine sense. Actually, Vex, you would learn something from that, but not what you expected. Samuel, Vex's sword is both desecrated and consecrated.
Huh?
Yes, I did not stutter.
I am going to look at Vex. Kind of confusing. Where did you get that?
Well,
But as for Talia, nothing pinged on her.
Okay, so where did you get the sword that shouldn't exist? Where did it come from?
well, that's a really good question that I also don't have the answer to right now. What can I get? Where did I get it from?
Your backstory.
My fucking backstory.
Yeah, okay. So Vex comes from a hidden Druidic monastery, or a Druidic monastic enclave. Blech. That is in one of the more remote regions of the northern parts of the Gonewood Twilight. And he was given this sword as a trial to go into the world until the sword breaks. Being made of dead Gonewood, it has some unusual properties, as dead Gonewood is incredibly rare, as Gonewood never dies when the tree is cut. Something causes it to die. And thus, it is magically indestructible, essentially. So it is almost a paradox that they sent him into the world until the sword, the sword is broken.
That's weird, but okay. But what am I to do with the glowing evil good sword?
You're not gonna fucking touch it, is what's gonna happen.
Yes, but it's weird and it's freaky and it shouldn't exist.
Yep, and if you touch it, your weird and freaky ass won't exist either.
Vex, you just challenged your god.
Does that mean I become God?
Well, we'll see how many pieces you're in when it's done, but
So-
we can try.
You might become several.
You can turn into a bear 4 times before you can get a shot off.
All right, no PvP.
Them sounds like fight words.
I'm gonna 1v1. I'm gonna 1v1 him for godship.
I mean, you guys are in a training yard.
Oh, there's no training here. Somebody's dying.
But you guys continue south and don't fight. And you end up in the large sandy area surrounded by sailors. And they're just having a grand old time with their downtime, drinking and partying and eating, gambling.
I join in on the eating, drinking, and gambling.
Yeah. And they don't even bat an eyelash when you walk up. Somebody just hands you guys mugs, and there's
Oh, hell
music and they're dancing, and they're just having a grand old time, enjoying their
Is
time
there
on
a
the land.
giant barbarian drinking with them?
There is no Jack drinking with them. Jack joined a different crew. But there are some giants. None of them are Jack. Actually, Alaric would be the only one who would recognize him.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some half-orcs, there's dwarves, there's gnomes. There's a very, very mixed melting pot. But the other thing that really does stand out to you as you guys are kind of making your way and drinking and meeting different people, and there's a lot more women in this particular mix of sailors than is typical for a sailing ship.
Huh.
But while you guys are making your way around, you really don't actually see Georgina or Roderick, the captain or the first mate.
Could we ask them where their captain is?
Yeah, if you want, you can. Like you'd remember being on the ship for 3 days crossing the lake, and remember seeing Georgina during the day and Roderick during the night, as they seem to basically use like an active or acting captain role, and it's not just one captain. When one of them's sleeping, the other one's in charge of everything. But yes, you could ask where the captain is.
Yeah, I think I want to do that. I want to find out where they're.
Yeah. Well, you're just chit chatting, and you ask one of the crew. So where's the captain at? Where's do you ask just the captain, or do you ask about Captain and Georgina, or what do you ask specifically?
Yeah, I
How do
asked them
you
where
how do
their
you phrase your
leadership is.
question?
Where are their bosses?
Yeah. One of them would look at you, laugh, and then point over his shoulder with his thumb at the big building to the northeast, and say, "Well, they're in the captain's cabin, obviously."
Makes
Okay.
sense to me.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. And yeah, you guys were all down by the fire and everything like that. So when they gesture at it, you actually look at it and really pay attention to the first time, and you can see a very crudely but uh, well mannered sign that was obviously painted by somebody with poor penmanship that says "Captain's Cabin" over the door. And that structure is nowhere near as large as it is on the picture. That scale is terrible. It'd probably be about as big as the garden wing, or the Three Seasons room, the separate little wing that sticks out. So that building's way too big on the map itself. So don't rely on that for scale. You guys do anything else?
No, I'm gonna spend the rest of my day here partying with the sailors.
Yeah. Well, it was midday, late afternoonish probably when you finally got there from all the time you spent everywhere else on the grounds throughout the day.
Mhm.
So you get a late lunch down here. It looks like they've got just a hot pot stew. They're not particularly picky about what they eat, but you're pretty sure it's venison.
Yeah, it's filling. It's hearty. It's good shit.
Yep.
And that means it's the perfect amount of time to do just enough partying without overdoing it. So yeah, and then without hopefully getting too hammered, I'll finish the day out and then make my way back to my quarters.
Well, I mean, you are drinking with sailors. Is everybody drinking?
Yeah, probably.
All right. Let's see how drunk you get. Constitution saves.
Oh, this is gonna end poorly.
Samuel and Vex, con saves.
Vex is just sitting and watching this shenanigans happen.
You're not drinking.
I am not.
The alcoholic isn't drinking. You guys should be worried. Yeah, you both hold your own. And you're able to go to bed at a reasonable time and don't get pulled into the fun wheel.
Oh, good.
And Samuel, with a 20, you make 50 gold betting on drinking games. Mister?
Yay. They think alcohol could ruin a god. Ah.
But you all retire. And then we rewind the clock and go back to the morning. And Alar, what are you looking for in the library today?
Spellbooks.
Ah. All right. Roll me a D100. All right. All right, you're looking around. And on that same shelf where you found that one freedom of movement spell, another couple of books down, you find one that looks relatively new in make and design versus a lot of the other ones on the shelf. It kind of stands out a little bit, but not until you pull it out that you realize that. And you're flipping through, and you get near the middle, and you see a page that it's not really a spell work page or anything like that. It just has 3 runes written on it, and they're well established enough that you would recognize them as the rune for teleportation, the rune for movement, and the rune for acceleration. But there is nothing else on the page, just those 3 runes in a triangle. And none of the other like surrounding text has anything to do with those 3 runes.
Would these 3 runes be sufficient to cast a spell?
No. So runes are like channels for magic, not so much like when you cast an arcane spell or do a ritual, you use runes in the process, but you usually only use like one, like the whatever rune is associated with the spell. So like fireball, or like 2. I'm sorry, you'd use 2. Like fireball, you would use um volume and fire, something like that. But everybody has their own way of casting it. So a Larix fireball might use 2 different runes than how you would cast fireball. But these 3 together just stand out and don't make sense to you.
In what way do they not make sense?
You wouldn't typically combine them.
Why not?
Like teleportation and movement are like contradictory. Like they wouldn't be used in the same spell ever. You'd either use teleportation or movement depending on what you're trying to accomplish. Does that make sense?
Nope.
Okay.
So, the reason it doesn't make any sense to me is teleportation and movement could be used if you were to, say, move something from your person to somewhere else and it then accelerates.
Yes, but then you would use teleport and accelerate.
Well, movement if you're the target
Yeah.
here in this case, but
Well, okay, so like teleportation circle definitely uses teleport. Dimension door, it could use movement or teleport. Misty step, almost guaranteed you'd use movement, not teleport. That's the best I can explain what I'm trying to get at. For how the reason you wouldn't ever use those 2 together is because they do the same thing in a different way.
okay. Moving on. What's the 3rd rune?
Acceleration.
Okay, is this like an index or something? Like what is the structure of these runes? Like how they're constructed on the page?
An equilateral triangle. Teleport is on top. Movement is on the left. Acceleration is on the right.
So, in your magic system, are runes combined from other runes? Sometimes.
They can be. That's usually how you'd make 2 runes together. Like when you do the somatic gesturing, you're just waving your fingers in the shape of the runes in the air most of the time. So you draw them like how you stack Norse runes. to make one word out of several symbols.
Yeah.
So they're not typically subsets, if that makes it. Like, it's not like you use this rune to make these runes. It's you combined this rune and this rune on top of each other to make a spell.
Right. And I'm asking what happened. Like, is this the way that this page has been constructed? Is it is as if it is trying to teach someone to lay these 3 runes on top of each other, in the sense of a tutorial or primer.
Make an Arcana check, actually. I'm pulling up my runes and just 3. Okay. Not really, because there's no instructions, there's no steps, there's no other information. It's literally a blank page with 3 runes on it, and that's it. That's why it's so weird. That's why you're sitting there like scratching your head, going, "What does it mean?"
Yes, it is what I'm doing.
One second, I'm navigating folders. Okay, let me. So this is essentially what you see on the page. There's no lines drawn between them. There is nothing else.
Right. So what I'm asking is this constructed as if it is an excerpt from some type of tutorial or primer that is trying to teach someone a spell, or the theory behind a spell via that would be constructed of these 3 runes?
Again, the surrounding text doesn't reference these runes
Ignoring
at
the
all.
surrounding text.
From your understanding of magic, no, this is the normal way a spell is constructed. Do you attempt to combine the runes with somatic components?
Yes.
All right.
Well, not in the library. I tried outside.
Okay. Yeah. So you go outside. Do you go anywhere in particular?
Some place where an explosion wouldn't damage anything too valuable looking.
Probably the training ground.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, if you ask one of the staff members, where can I go and maybe blow something up and not ruin everything, they just like, training grounds, yeah, to the west.
And I didn't explicitly say, but I'll say it. I do make a copy of this page.
Yeah, you use your Xerox and copy it into just a blank page or into your spell book.
A blank page for now.
Okay.
I leave the original book in the library.
All right.
And then I go and see what happens.
All right. Yeah, so you go to the training grounds, and it's still relatively early in the morning. The rest of the party is somewhere else. And then the only other question is, do you try targeting something or targeting yourself as you attempt to create a spell?
I first attempt to target something else.
All right. So yeah, you attempt targeting one of the dummies. How far away do you stand?
60 feet.
60 feet. Okay. Yeah, and you combine them. You make the somatic gesture, and nothing happens. You feel the pull of the weave. Like, it definitely something was starting to happen, but it seemed like just to fail to, like it fizzled out essentially.
Okay. Do I have a sense for why it fizzled out? Was it an invalid target? Was I too far away? Does it need
give me
some
an
other bit of component work?
yeah, give me an Arcana check. It's like you felt the weave pull. You're either missing something or you might have been too far away. One of those two. You're not quite sure.
I'll have the distance to 30 and try again.
All right. Yeah. You try again, and you get the same feeling. Like you feel the
Have it again.
pull, and then it fizzles out. Yep. So you get 15 feet. Same thing.
But again,
All right. Yeah. You go 7 or you go 5?
I go 7.
7?
And a half.
Okay. Yeah. 7.5. Yep. It same thing. Fizzles out.
I have it again.
All right. Yeah, so you're in melee. But are you casting at range or are you touching?
I'll try it at range first.
Same thing. It fizzles out.
All right. Then I touch the object and attempt it.
All right. And then you touch it. And the dummy goes fuck off flying back. It looks like you pushed it about 30 feet away almost instantaneously. Just thump, gone.
Over on
Okay.
the other side of the mansion, and I see a dummy just.
No, it only went about 30 feet from his position. But
Send this shit into orbit.
from your perspective, you didn't see it move. It looked like it just went 30 feet almost instantaneously. But there was still some blur. You're not quite sure what exactly happened. It
All
looked weird.
What object did I grab?
Just like a test dummy.
Okay. Is there any
for-
damage to the test dummy?
Yeah, you go look at it. Yeah, it looks like it took a hell of a beating and is very broken and destroyed. You'd know, like an average test dummy has about 20 HP. You definitely did significant enough damage to destroy it. So it's quite mangled.
Okay.
And you also feel a little tired. Not like exhaustion or anything like that, just that took something out of you that you've never felt before.
Oh, that's not good.
All right. What would you like to do next?
Seeing what kind of diagnostics I have. I'm going to do a detect magic ritual and see if there's any kind of residue on myself or the dummy.
All right. Do you want to start using my advanced version? I can run it past you again real quick if you.
Not identified. Detect magic.
I have not the cursed identify, the detect magic that does more. Remember I was working on that
No, I don't
a
remember.
long time ago. All right, let me pull that up. If I can fucking find it. So the only thing is you'd have to have it prepared. Because it actively consumes a slot. And this is just, it's a prototype, it's a beta version.
Yeah, well, I obviously don't have that prepared, so I'm just using regular detect magic.
Yeah, so you cast detect magic, and nothing unusual stands out. You know, you normally your bag of holding showing everything else. The dummy doesn't have any magic on it. There's nothing where you cast the spell.
Okay. Oh, does he have any like healers or clerics on hand?
There's a physician. Like, he
Is
does have
he
a regular
versed in
doctor.
magic and curses and things of that nature?
Not particularly. No, he looks like he is like from what you've heard from the staff. He sounds like more like a regular bone saw doctor.
Right. I'm looking more for someone who's versed in like clerical healing and curse breaking and the like. Does he have anyone of that?
They go back to the house and ask.
Yes.
Yeah, and find one of the staff. One of the staff points you to Valen. Valen's like, not particularly here. Levi would honestly be the one to ask about that stuff.
Well, when he's got a moment of his time, I'd like to talk to him.
All right. Yes, I see. And he goes to the north and disappears into a door, and the grand hallway is grand as you stand there. You see Alar, Samuel, and Vex skipping along the front path.
Mhm.
It's about
Yeah.
midday.
I start heading back to the library. I'm sure they'll find me when he gets a moment.
Yep. Yeah, you head back to the library. Got about an hour passes. And Valen says, yes, Master Lexington could see you in his office if you'd like.
Sure.
Yep, that's
I
the
head that
party.
way.
Yeah, and he takes you back through the pleasant room hallways back to the grand hallway up north, and through that eastern door, and Levi's sitting at a desk. It's a nice desk, but it's not like a gaudy desk. It looks very practical in design. And he has several maps out and a couple of portfolios stacked up on one side, and you can see a broken glass case with a red and silver marble sitting next to it, a magnifying glass sitting next to it. And he looks up when you walk in. Ah, Alar. What can I do for you?
Well, I was plundering your library for its magical secrets, as one does.
Well,
Came across a peculiar set of runes that seemed to be components to a spell. I pull out that sheaf of paper and put it down in front of him. Do you recognize this array?
teleportation, movement, acceleration. Very odd combination. And you cast this?
Yes, I went down to your training grounds, one of the dummies that your servant so thoughtfully provided, and it had an effect. A modest one, but an effect, nonetheless. What concerns me and why I'm here is it rather felt exhausting in a manner that is not quite like the spell casting I'm used to, nor any other physical ailment as far as I could tell. Nor did detect magic show any lingering effect. And thus, I'm, obviously did not continue and began to seek diagnostics.
Then you may have very well just cast a soul spell. Impressive.
And what, pray tell, is a soul spell?
Yeah. Even when he says that, even in all of your knowledge of magic, it sounds like a weird combination of terminology. And he's well, very long time ago, beginning of the pre-collapse years, there were mages capable of incredible feats. And one of the primary things that they did is they spoke directly with the weaves. And the other thing they did was use their very own soul to manipulate them. But all soul spells have a cost. You spent a small part of yourself. Do whatever you did. And it will take some time for your soul to recover from it. Not in any danger, but I would recommend limiting the experimenting with such magic.
Is there a way to tell how much damage was done and how long it will take to heal?
I do not have any way of opening that door for you. It is something that is unique to everybody. Though there were ways back then that they could accelerate the process. Everybody who figures it out undergoes a different experience to understand their own capacity. Sometimes it's a near-death experience, other times great moments of adrenaline, but everybody's moment of unlocking soul magic is unique to themselves. That's why I said impressive. Being able to cast a soul spell without understanding it is incredibly significant.
A question for you as a DM. Did I find anything related to this soul magic in his library at all?
No.
Okay.
That's why that book stood out. It was a relatively new binded, like it looked like new paper in design and construction. But then there was runes in it, and everything about else in it was just, regular, normal, what you're used to magic gibberish.
Right.
That's
Okay.
why those three runes stood out to you so much. And then when you cast it, yes, you were casting a soul spell, but you didn't understand the soul spell.
Yes.
That's why you were able to do it. It was a touch spell that you cast. That's why I was asking if you targeted yourself, because that would have been fucking funny.
Yeah, there's a small piff, and it just red mist all over the training ground.
You just touch yourself in the chest to go flying 30 feet back.
Well, depending on which damage it did, like I said, red mist.
Yeah.
No, this is also why when you're experimenting, you don't target yourself.
Indeed.
All right. Regardless, so I would ask him: does he have any materials, books, treatises, journals, even about this topic? As his library seemed rather to lack it.
Yes. Well, I don't keep things like that in the public library. It's a bit of a taboo subject.
How can something so unknown be taboo?
Because it's unknown.
You've lost me.
He smiles and says, well, there are some people in the world, if they learned that you were capable of doing that, would go through great lengths to make sure you didn't do it again.
Or they'd have to get in line.
But if you would
Preferably
like
within 100
material,
feet and 5 feet wide, but
please form a single file line and wait your turn. The more the merrier. You guys can sit on each other's shoulders even if you want. But yeah, so he'd be like, well, if you are interested in the subject, I do have other volumes that I can acquire for you, but they wouldn't be ones that I would borrow to you. Those would be ones that I would prefer you read with my company. Simply for the fact that I would prefer they not be copied or marred in any way.
I mean, it's almost like you don't trust him.
why the prohibition on copying?
Because of the significance of the volumes. Again, there are some people in the world that will go to great lengths to make sure that that knowledge remains taboo.
Well, the greatest way to defeat such a party is to ensure information's widespread. It isn't you hide it away, it's you make hundreds of copies, thousands even, and you distribute it far and wide.
Well, yes, it would be an extensive undertaking to do such a thing. I do not have the infrastructure to do something like that. All in due time.
Regardless, setting that philosophical point aside, I would prefer to see these tomes as quickly as possible, simply if for no other reason than to ascertain the level of damage I have done to myself.
Well, I'll see what I can do. They are not on the estate. I would have to send word to one of my researchers, and he would have to get back to me on those specific runes if he knows what spell you cast and how much it costs. And by the time he would get the information back to us, your soul would more than likely have repaired itself. It is a slow process, but not painfully slow.
Well, that just brings up the question: how much damage is done to cast one of these?
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Well, it's okay. So for clarification, it's not like above table. It's not actual damage. So the going into the actual how soul mechanics work in my setting for soul magic itself is essence is derived from your constitution modifier, one of your mental stats, and then there's a exponential modifier using your proficiency to figure out what your capacity is, and then that is recharged at a fixed rate over time. So at higher levels, it takes longer to recover because it still charges at the same rate. So at max levels, you're still recovering the same amount of essence that you would be at lower levels. But you have a bigger battery, so you can cast bigger spells without blowing your soul budget, so to speak. And he would be like, when he's talking, I just can't do it in character. But he is explaining that it's not like your soul is permanently damaged. It's just you drained a bit of the battery and it needs to recharge, and it takes a couple of days. Does that make more sense now?
Right,
Yes.
I got that.
Okay.
But how much does it cost per individual casting? Because could you cast it
He doesn't
multiple
know.
times in a row, or
He doesn't
something
know
like
what spell Alar cast. He knows the runes. He doesn't have a list of all the soul spells in his mind that he can say, oh, that's this spell and it costs this much. It's going to take this many days to recover. He doesn't know himself. He's not trying to be evasive in his answer. He's answering from his perspective. He is unaware of the true value of what
Then
that spell costs.
is there any way to detect the change in in his soul?
Yes, soul magic is unlocked through usually an event of some kind, whether it's a near-death experience or a high adrenaline moment. That's usually where soul magic becomes available. You're aware of the potential that you have. Other than that, it is a unused feature that you're capable of, that you're unaware of.
Oh, okay.
So the fact that Alar was able to cast a soul spell without unlocking soul magic is why Levi's like, oh, you're interesting.
Yeah.
And the reason under that you're able to do that is because of the Second Soul, the book that you have.
Mm-hmm. The one that was in the book of holding, or bag of holding.
No, your backstory item, the book you got from your mentor.
Right. And it worked even though it's in the bag of holding?
Well, your ability to cast the spell wasn't because you were holding the book. Because you've read the book and understood some of the base capabilities of soul magic and casting,
I gotcha. Okay.
you were able to actually manipulate the soul weave and cast a soul spell, even though you don't have soul magic unlocked.
Yeah.
So if anybody else tried to do that, nothing would have happened. But because
see.
you've read up on it, so to speak.
Right. Well, my next question then to Levi would be, well, what materials on soul magic does he have on hand?
On hand, I have nothing here. I don't keep those books at the estate.
By that recollection, Samuel should be able to cast those spells.
Yeah, as soon as
Why?
you unlock your latent ability.
Well, he's already had the near-death experience.
Well,
We've
not-
all nearly died. At least
I was
half
going to
dozen
say,
died.
dying
No,
or having a
no.
near-death experience is not a guarantee to unlock it. And because you died and met death, it doesn't unlock. It's not this is the trigger. The trigger is different for everybody, and those are the most not well known, but Levi is aware that those are the triggers. So yeah, no, Samuel does not.
It's still, so where
Mm-hmm.
do we go to find out about this? Where can I find out?
From what Levi is saying, nowhere.
Got to be records somewhere. If I'm able to find out stuff about before the collapse, it's got to be in the library.
Well, records from before the collapse and knowledge of soul magic are two separate things.
Yeah, but there should be something I can't give up. You got to find it.
It's
Add it
almost
to
like
the list
somebody
of-
erased soul magic from
add it-
history.
Add it to the things we're trying to learn. I got a guy. I know a guy that could probably help me with soul magic. I know a guy.
What, death?
I mean, he reaps souls. You figure he would know soul magic. Figure.
Well, he'd have a good idea of the actual metaphysical structure of the weaves, not just soul magic.
Yeah, he would know more. Yeah, he would know. Yeah.
He's
Add it to the
he
list
is
of questions we're gonna ask him.
he is the entity of death. He is the gardener of souls.
Just add it
He
to
is
the
not
list of
he is not the
questions we're gonna
Grim
ask him.
Reaper.
No, but he is my way to destroy.
No, he's actually a rather jovial fellow.
He was.
Yes,
He was actually.
he's
kinda
quite
silly dude.
high-spirited. He enjoys stories
We got some good ones.
and snack food. Yes, I did keep that from Supernatural Death. He likes snack foods. So if you summon him and have pickle chips, he is more cooperative to the conversation.
Yeah. Deep dish pizza.
So,
Chicago deep dish pizza.
Alar, while you're in there talking to him, you're obviously looking at his desk and you see everything laid out, right?
yeah, including
I was
the
like, one
parchment with the runes on it.
Yep. The one thing that you would notice is there's a reasonably detailed map of the Condalmore mountain range, which the hidden capital of Caldera is inside of.
Okay.
Like it's sitting on the side of his desk. It's not actively in front of him. It looks like he had a portfolio in his hand when you walked in and he folded it.
Mhm.
But you do see a map of the Condalmore mountain range, and it looks like markings of Calderan territory.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just saying you notice that it's out
Yep.
in the open. Well, will that be all, or did you have something else pressing to ask?
You said there's a group of people out there who are actively suppressing this.
Well, there are people whose interests are keeping something like this quiet.
Well, in the interest of staying alive, who are they?
Wouldn't know them.
Are you saying you don't know them, or that I wouldn't know them?
You wouldn't know them. They have lived their entire lives in the cracks and shadows. There is no name for them.
Okay. Do they have some type of tell, a sigil, a call sign,
No.
even?
That is why they're so dangerous.
Because they just randomly murder people in the middle of the street.
It could be the baker you buy bread from, the blacksmith who shapes your weapon.
Sounds like they're using the same type of thing.
Sorry, what do you mean?
The abilities he's describing sounds more powerful than standard magic, similar to the way that was more powerful than a standard cantrip would be. Therefore, sounds like they're
yes.
using soul magic as well.
They are quite hypocritical about that. The rule of self-interest. They deem themselves worthy of the mantle, but nobody else. And since they live in the fabric of society, it is impossible to just weed them out.
I'm to take it then that you are also a practitioner of this soul magic?
I am aware of its capabilities, yes.
But you use it. You have practiced it.
Sparingly, when necessary.
Well, from the sound of the cost, of course, it would be sparingly.
Indeed. But even then, I still avoid using it if necessary, as it does typically give off a silhouette that is visible to others that are aware of its capabilities, and they are much better at detecting it than you and I.
Is this silhouette detectable outside of visual range?
Yes. Though there seems to be some limit, I am unaware of exactly how they're able to eliminate individuals, or detect them even.
Then why are you still alive?
Because I'm very careful.
These were your former colleagues, weren't they?
Oh, no. I only learned of their existence about 50 years ago. And since then, I have been slowly trying to figure out how to deal with them. It is not a simple process.
Do you have any idea of the numbers we're facing here?
None. I could guess, but I would be wrong, and I know I would be wrong, so there would be no point in guessing.
Do they have any link to the divine that you know of?
I believe they're responsible for the change in the structure of the church in the pre-collapse, but again, can't say with certainty. They have been around for a very long time.
How do you know that?
I am very careful when I do research.
Have you ever actually defeated one of these guys?
Personally, no. I have never directly or indirectly been involved with any of them. I am simply aware of the shadow they cast, and I do my best to stay out of it.
So I point to the parchment on his desk, the 3 runes. So that is pretty much a flare pointed right at your palace then.
Potentially. More so you casting it than the sheet of parchment itself.
For lack of any name for it, yes, that is what I was referring to. The use of those runes.
Potentially.
Potentially as in you're not sure, or potentially as in you think this place might be shielded?
I believe this place may be shielded, but I am not sure.
Because you have no way like them to detect it as well as they do.
Indeed. Their methods are far beyond of anything I am capable of. I am a humble criminal. I organize smuggling, movement of individuals who would much rather not be in their current predicament, and resource allocation for individuals who would be better off with the resources compared to those who actually own them. As for this other problem, it's not something that I directly confront. All in due time.
So if these people were to make contact with me, would they be likely to try and kill me or recruit me?
Either kill you or alter the state of your memory so you don't remember doing it in the first place.
Well, there are ways around that.
Sometimes.
Not if they take a giant rock to your skull and give you a good bonking.
You have a way of restoring lost memories?
No, I'm talking about making something so integral that you can't delete it without just killing the person.
Actually, now I'm curious. Above table. What do you mean?
So, I mean, that comes a lot more into the philosophical question of what makes up a person, right? You
Yeah.
know, if the person is just the sum of their memories, then if you start removing memories, the more you remove, the more of the person you're killing. So if
Yeah.
you make something, like if I start daubing those 3 runes on everything, ship sails, ship hulls, use it as a personal sigil,
Mhm.
to delete the runes, because they very obviously just finding them poked it out. So the knowledge of what they are, they could delete, but it would eventually lead me right back to it because they're everywhere unless you remove all reference to them, which would
Yep.
require so much work as if to kill me.
Yes. So in that case, yes, if you started plastering those 3 symbols in that arrangement everywhere, they would more than likely just kill you. If that's what you're asking.
No, I was making a philosophical point. Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. I'll just add it to the TPK list.
So how would one gain access to your archive of materials on Soul Magic?
Well, like I said, I could have some books brought next time that we meet. As for gaining access, well, I don't particularly give access to just anybody for that research facility.
I didn't expect that you did. However, I am at my heart an academic. Books are what I truly live in. And that, through that academic work, I tap that parchment on his desk, is how I managed to cast this without any real knowledge of the underlying mechanisms, apparently. So, full access to it would allow me to indulge in that research and potentially find a way to use this magic safely, consistently, without having to go through such a harrowing ordeal, as you described as a previous trigger point. I don't need to explain to you how valuable such knowledge would be.
And I don't need to explain to you how dangerous it could be.
Of course it's dangerous, it's a weapon.
Oh, it is much more than that.
Against this foe that you're facing,
Yes.
it would
It's
be a
not
weapon.
only a weapon.
No, of course not. It's not just a weapon, but it is a weapon, among other things.
And also, when he did ask if you have some way of restoring memories, you would remember that mirror you have in your bag of holding.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you remembered you had it or not.
Nope, I removed that memory.
Ah. Yeah, the mirror that shows you that which you forgot that shapes who you are.
Yep.
Because those were memories, it was resurfacing. Well, I have some other things to attend to, but I will see about getting a couple of books in that nature, along with the ones about immortality that you were asking about yesterhence.
Most appreciative. I'll keep you informed if I make any more discoveries of this nature.
Well, I do appreciate that.
And then I bid him a good day, and I leave. As I'm leaving, I turn and say, "Oh, a bit of a curiosity. I couldn't help but notice the map on your desk. Rundlamar Republic's capital, I believe.
Caldera. The Kingdom of Caldera.
Yeah. Caldera, that's what I said.
And he looks at it. Oh, yes, Talia told me about your little venture into the map-making argument, so I figured I'd do a little research if it came up in conversation.
Are those maps accurate?
By the best use case of the word,
Well, were they accurate at the time that they were made?
as far as I can tell, I believe so, but it is one of the things about the legend. The kingdom itself was never marked on any of their maps. Their territory was quite extensive in the mountains themselves, and hence your map may point towards the right group of mountains and such. Knowing the exact location is still miles upon miles of terrain,
Indeed, which is...
actually hundreds of square miles.
Well, if I went looking for it, I would probably still be there instead of here.
Indeed. But if you like, and he pulls the map and rolls it up, and this is only a copy. More than welcome to look at it, compare it to yours.
Oh, certainly. And I pull out my map and begin comparing it right there.
Oh, you pull your map out in front of him?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, okay. Yeah, when you do that, he points at the graph and he says, "What's that?" The little 5x5 grid that Baldric drew on the map.
Shit, do you know how long ago that was? I don't fucking remember what you're talking about.
So originally, the map you have has letters on the edges, and Baldric had something in his. Baldric is a historian for like the super Calderan nerd, and he had a book that basically was a codex using those letters to create a separate grid, and then inside that grid he circled one of the tiles, and you said that you copied all of that down.
Okay. I mean, I would have.
Mhm.
I
Yeah, like, you
personally have no
just-
memory
you-
of that.
Yeah, you copied it when, like, you didn't do it in front of him or anything like that, but you had made the copy of the map, and then when he was drawing on his map, you just noted down what he did and repeated the process because you're a book nerd, so it was easy for you to do. And so on
Mhm.
your map, you do have the grid that he drew in the circle in one of it.
Yeah, and I relate to him the story of Baldric, the historian, and his little cryption that he was applying to it.
Well, Talia never did talk to him. She did talk to Grim and Rickshaw. I do have to meet those fellows. Very interesting couple. And he's like, well, that changes things. And he unrolls, because you had your map, and he unrolls it, and he goes, using this map and that map, that would indicate, and he, looking at the mountain peaks, looking across the mountain range, it's either here or here. And he points at two spots, and they have that exact arrangement of 5 mountains. There's 2 identical peak groupings.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them are in large dead spaces of the Calderan map where there are no cities marked. So,
That's curious.
potentially, it is in one of these 2 places. And with your map, that turns the search from potentially hundreds of square miles to, it looks like a couple square miles.
How exactly repeating is the terrain in that area? Those 2 areas.
Actually, I do have the old Calderan map that I made of the rings. Let me find that. So, oh, it's numbers and letters. My bad. But regardless, this is the map that you have. That's exactly what he wrote down, like Baldric wrote down, and you copied it based on
Mhm.
what he was using. And it looks like there is, topography, and it looks like there are 5 identifiable peaks. And the map that Levi has just has the peaks marked. It doesn't have the topography. So it only has this is a mountain tip, this is a mountain tip, this is a mountain tip. So you
Okay.
can overlay yours on it, and it lines up perfectly with 2 of them, or at least close enough, because they're just dots on a map. So
Okay.
here, let me draw dots on what you're. I don't have the bigger map, but
Well, no, I understand what you're getting at. And that alleviates my concern.
so yeah, with both maps, the other map has basically this sort of marked on it. It's just dots and then a valley.
Yeah.
And they all line up.
Yeah. So, 2 potential spots.
Indeed.
Predicament.
How far apart are these 2 locations?
I was just about to pull up the big map and look, because I don't know.
And how far are they from the mine he wants us to go to?
Several thousand miles from the mine. And so here is oh shit, that has information you don't need on it. Mountain range is not to scale. Yada 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 yada. And then you guys are the square. All right. You guys are red square is your current location. The southeast circle is the mine location. And the 2 red dots in the middle mountain range, that's the Condlemore mountain range, which is it basically is 3 times the size of the Rockies. It's huge. That's the one that you guys initially went through when you went south out of Ardenshire. Like the mountain range itself, the picture is not to scale of what the actual range edge to edge is. This is just the, pretty cartography map that somebody drew, and there's a mountain range here. Draw some mountains.
So it strikes me that if we were to take an overland route, these 2 locations would be on the way to this mine you wanted us to deal with.
Yes, but the urgency of dealing with the mine is the reason that I'm sending you on the Benevolent Prince. With the Benevolent Prince, you'll be there inside of 2 months. If you went over land, you would be there next year.
Right, but when the mine is done, you have no need for us to rapidly return, do you?
As of the moment, no. The mine is the only thing that your guys' particular skill set would benefit from your group of operatives, from my perspective. So afterwards, could potentially have something else, but I don't know as of this time. The mines is the only thing that is urgent. So if you wanted to pursue the locations, I wouldn't have any job for you that would be interruptive of your pursuit of these locations. But if you could take care of the mine first, I would appreciate that.
Well, given the time disparity and the sensitivity that the mine has, then yes, of course we can do it first. These cities have been lost for over a century. I think they can withstand a couple of months.
10 centuries. Caldera fell a millennia ago.
A millennia, not a century. Okay.
Yep.
They've been lost for a millennia. They will keep for another few months.
Indeed.
That being said, you, I assume, have access through some means to the sending spell.
In a manner of speaking.
So if something of urgency does occur, you can always contact us that way.
Yes.
And vice versa.
I could have somebody communicate with you that way, indeed. By his general vibe, he doesn't look like a wizardy type.
Yeah, so and I was making reference to someone in his organization has to have this spell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially in a household like this, you'd think somebody in this house can cast it, but you haven't really seen any wizardy types.
Yeah, I've been scaring them all away by taking the library apart the way I have.
But every time you come back to the library, all the books seem to be back in place.
Yeah, and that just makes it very convenient to me. I only have to do half the work. Regardless, though, I know especially my compatriots will appreciate this, if possible. And I point to that little bay to kind of kitty corner from the 2 points. If you could arrange to meet us there with our promised payments, accepting, of course, materials that are too sensitive to be sent that way.
Of course.
Then I think they would be appreciative if we could pick those up on the way.
Well, you could always turn to Genth. I have plenty of establishments there. You can stay.
Is Genth between those two cities? I don't know your map well enough to know.
Genth is so basically if you follow like the little squiggly line from the Badlands, that's Genth, that little tiny diamond on that bay, that's Genth.
The western one?
Yeah. The
one south of A.
No, the western one. The one south of A is a city you guys haven't been to. It actually doesn't.
Right, so almost directly south of the first location.
Yes. Yeah, like he's
Okay.
basically saying like Genth would be the best, like where we all
Yeah,
meet
that
up
works.
place.
Genth would work as a relay point there.
Yeah. And of course, now that you've actually accomplished something and earned a little bit of trust and respect, he's like, yeah, you can use my safe houses in Genth, basically is what he's saying.
Right, and I just agree readily. Like, yeah, Genth works. It's right there. It's, you know, no reason to reinvent the wheel again.
Yeah, And then he would tell you, well, if we don't meet before then, I would look for the bin in the Sailor's Quarter. That is one of my casinos. You'll be well accommodated there, and there is plenty of protection for quieter meetings. Though me personally, I am working on getting back in the good graces of some of the council members. You sleep with one person's wife. I am currently not very welcome in the city of Genth. Hence, it was easier having you pick up the package versus going and attempting to retrieve it myself, or having some other unvetted group attempt retrieval for me.
Well, that does beg the question, since you brought it up. Is that rock in some way related to soul magic, given the oddities about it?
He gets a bit, like thinky face, and he's, no, I don't think so. That is an entirely different problem. One I'm not even sure what the actual problem is, but it is an amusing one. I have recovered several of them. They all appear to be the same thing. Gibberish.
I see. We're not preempting any of your planned expeditions out to these points, were we?
I didn't even know these points existed.
Well,
your map revealed the answer. I merely had the right questions.
well, that is most of the work, is figuring out which question to ask.
That is the fun of it.
Well, if there nothing further,
Indeed, this is very interesting. Oh,
do you mind if I keep that map over there for a moment? I'd like to work up a full copy showing everything.
oh, this is a copy. You can keep it.
Very good.
You can mark this one. It looks like modern parchment, modern ink on it, so it doesn't look like it's some old, collector item map. It looks like it's a copy of a map. The penmanship is very nice.
Right.
But yeah, he just rolls up the Calderan territory map and hands it to you.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah. And then I take my leave and proceed to this.
That one actually would have a date on it. Hold on.
Huh.
But then back to the library. I mean, it's that conversation took about an hour, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
So you're at mid-afternoon, late afternoon.
Right, and then I go to the scriptorum, because he's got to have one here, because otherwise, how is he making all these books?
You find no scriptorum.
Oh, well, then I just go to the library and lay out some parchment on a table.
Yeah.
And I make a combined version of the maps showing where these potential locations are, all the detail from both maps, everything together. So like one big amalgamated map.
Yeah.
I make 3 copies of it.
Yeah, you could draw on the map he gave you. That's what he seemed to indicate. He didn't care what you did with it.
Yeah, I understand. But
Yeah.
I was under the impression that our map had information his map didn't. In general.
Your map is like a zoomed-in version of his map.
Right.
His
so
map is like the whole range, the entire territory. Yours is a very small portion of that.
Right. And so
Yep.
this map would be like of the whole mountain range.
Mhm.
Okay. And it's going to have the points, it's going to have the 5 key peaks marked in both locations.
Yep.
Only those 5 key peaks. And in a cutaway window in one of the corners is going to be the topographic level marking those peaks as a specimen.
Ah, okay. Well, you don't know what the lines are marking elevation-wise. There is no scale with those. There's no grids. There's no grid scale. There is no elevation scale. That is the actual map you have. Letters and squiggly lines.
Right, but then we have the overall map that shows the pattern for those. Like if you just look at the peak points, right? You know, there's two
Yeah.
there's 2 groupings that match up with that in some
Yeah.
set of rotations.
And that one has distance scale, but it has no topographical information.
Right. And so this is marked as so like the key the cutout is marked out as local map.
Okay.
And the 5 points are being used to designate potential locations for where that local map may apply. The point is to make one combined map that can be much more convenient to use than 3 separate pieces of paper.
Yep. But yeah, you're able to transfer the information over into one single map saying location A, location B.
Yeah. The reason for this is a working map that we can now use on the actual expedition without risking any damage to the originating sources, even though it's only a copy. It's the only copy I know of that peak map, so
Yeah.
I'm keeping that safe.
Yeah, that way you have a true accurate in case, you need to reference something you're not sure if it's relevant. Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha.
Like think like blueprints being used at a job site.
Yep.
That
Yeah,
might be a
master
bit old
copy.
school, but
You have a master copy, and then you have the copy you give to all the idiots in case they spill coffee on it.
or it's a map we can use in the field. They don't have to be idiots. It's just shit happens.
Mhm.
And so I keep one of these copies in the bag of holding at all times, and the other 2 we can use for actually plotting the expedition. I mean, for now they'll be in the bag of holding, but when we're going, it'll probably be like I'll have a copy, and I'll probably get another copy. Between Alaric and Samuel, which of you is smarter?
Obviously, Samuel.
I have 10 intelligence.
I also have a 10 intelligence.
Right. Well, I think it's only right for the god who's leading us to have the map. So I'll make sure he gets a copy of it, of one of those copies.
What's your survival check there, Samuel?
I do not have proficiency in survival.
Well, what is it?
It's a 0.
So yeah, I have a -1. He should get it.
How the fuck do I have a better survival than both of you?
Because you're a
So-
wise old tiefling.
Yeah, and I get together with after I make these maps, get together with Alaric and Samuel to tell them about what Eli and I discussed about these peaks and how we were promised great treasure and stuff. So on our way back from the mine, we have to rush to the mine, but we don't have to hurry from the mine anywhere. So we can stop over and do some dungeon delving.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Then, if there's time left in the day, Alaric and Samuel, I think we need to go to the training ground and we have to do some experimentation.
All right.
Well, is this the same day still, or?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
so
so-
we're both partying with the sailors probably by the time
Oh.
we get that figured out.
Well, you guys would have met up for dinner. Like
Yeah,
you would have. You guys would have just gotten back from the party a little bit
okay.
later, and They would have just made dinner accommodations for the party as a
Gotcha.
group, so you guys have always dinner's always you guys together.
Okay, gotcha.
So,
yeah, so yeah,
Yeah,
well,
you
we
didn't
can
get drunk enough that you slept out in the tents.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that was the idea, but sometimes ideas and what actually happens don't always align.
Great. Then we should head out after dinner to the training grounds. Especially Alaric, but I want Samuel to try as well, because he's, his abilities, though they're divine in nature, do involve magical somatic components.
Let's give it a go.
All right, let's give it the old college try.
So I take him out to the training grounds after dinner, assuming nothing interesting happens during dinner.
No. One thing you do notice, Levi doesn't join you guys.
That's okay. He's busy. And we grab a training dummy. And so I tell Alaric, so this was a touch magical effect based on somatic components for 3 runes instead of the normal 2, which completely blew the dummy apart, which would be great for us to see, given our lack of martial prowess, might be good to have something hidden in the hole.
A fuck you touch spell?
Yeah, that's always a good idea.
Yeah, like we're totally unarmed. There's no way we would do something. Hey, can you come over here? I gotta hand you something, and then
Hey, you got a
touch
button
them,
on your
and then they go kaboom.
I like kaboom. I like kaboom.
But where is the earth-shattering kaboom?
All right, so do you give me the instructions on how to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
I'll have both
sorcerer
of you guys
and
make a kind of checks just for understanding his instructions right away.
Oh,
Yep.
no.
So Samuel, you two just make a Arcana check for how well Alar explains it, how well you understand it.
yeah. So imagine like this professor's out there on the training grounds, like shaking his
No.
hands at you, trying to discuss the fundamental theorem behind calculus to you. Mister.
Arcane.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Arcana check. Just skill check. All right. Yeah. So he explains it well enough, and you guys are like, okay, so it's 3 stacked instead of 2 stacked. So you guys, both of you go
Right.
ahead and try it, and nothing happens for either of you. Like, Taylor, you're positive they did it the way that you did it.
No, you built up my expectations, and now I'm kind of sad.
Yeah, I was really hoping at least one of you would be able to manage it.
I do it again.
You try it again, but yeah, you don't even feel like the pull of the weaves. Like you're pulling my leg, right? Like this is a prank.
I did it the 3rd time, but this time I rub my hands together. I stamp my feet into the ground. Get really kind of sorted there. Like, okay, maybe just need to feel it. None.
And again, you don't feel anything. It's just you're wiggling your hands around, going whoa, and nothing happens.
Curious, most curious.
You could try doing it again, Alar.
How exhausted did this make me feel?
Like you were on the verge of like making an exhaustion check, but not really like detrimentally tired.
I try again.
Well, the Arcana roll was just him teaching you understanding. That's all that was.
Well,
That was your comprehension of his magic instructions. You're not making a roll every time you try it. But you got 20, so But yeah,
so
you
he
try
really
again.
understood what I was talking about.
Yep.
It all makes sense. It just doesn't work.
Yep. And you try again, and nothing happens. But yeah, in terms of like how tired you felt, it wasn't like you started feeling like, that was a pull on a muscle I've never used before, but it's not like you strained.
All right. So I tell him, all right, Alaric, Samuel, watch very closely as I then go through the motions and cast the little soul push.
Yeah, you do it. Same full. You feel the weaves manipulated and pulled, and Samuel and Alaric, from the outside perspective, you watch this dummy go flying 30 feet and just get eviscerated.
It takes a lot out of you, though, so I don't think I'll be doing that again. But now you should try.
I try again.
You try again, and you just seen Alar do it. And you watch that dummy go flying, and you feel nothing. And just you feel like you're flopping your hands, even though you're repeating exactly what he did.
Something seems to be missing.
Indeed, but what?
Well, so since I wasn't there listening to the instruction, like, what is special about the third symbol?
Well, normally spells are constructed out of 2 runes, overlapping with each other. That's what those somatic components are referencing to. It is doubly odd for this construction. 1, because it uses 3 runes, and 2, because they all seem to do the same thing. Normally, you would have 2 different runes to give like method and effect, or verb and noun.
Right, right.
This is like a sentence constructed completely of nouns.
Well, verbs, but yeah.
Right.
For your example, is actually a sentence constructed out of verbs.
Yes, but you can make valid sentences out of verbs. You can't make valid sentences out of nouns.
Chicken, 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 chicken.
Go.
Buffalo, buffalo.
Buffalo, buffalo.
Buffalo, buffalo.
Yes, but that's the case for words being different parts of speech. I'm referring to only a part of speech.
Yeah.
Anyway, grammatical constructions aside.
Yeah.
Well, you said this made you tired. How? Because that's something that don't
you used a muscle you never used before.
Think back to when you first cast magic as sorcerer, right? And you didn't understand what your limits were or how they were quantified. It's like that. There's something else there. Yes.
So
it's like if we were approaching the weave from the top before, and now we're also approaching it from the bottom, and it works differently.
Would I be able to try to figure out how to tap into that? Like,
what kind of sorcerer are you actually?
Wild mage.
Wild mage. Okay. Then
I has the fucking ball sorcerer.
Fucking forgot about that. So then I need you to roll on the D100 table when you tried to cast that every single time, as that would trigger wild mage, and it would just happen. All right, pull up the.
Yeah, hold on, since I did it 3 times.
So yeah, I completely forgot he's a wild mage. So yeah, it does actually change the your guys' play around learning state stuff. Let me find the wild mage. All right. So when he casts it the first time, would you guys be aware that you gain vulnerability to piercing?
Probably.
All right.
Oh no, I become extra stabbable.
Yeah, our skin feels soft and supple.
And then everybody
just had
needs to make a
deep
whiz
rejuvenating
save.
treatment.
Everybody needs to make a whiz save against confusion.
Okay, would this qualify as a trap?
No.
All right.
Magical effect, technically.
Yeah. But I figured I'd ask.
And then, Mister
What am I rolling?
Wiz save against confusion. His wild mage stuff was getting triggered every time he cast this. I forgot he was a wild mage. I mean, it doesn't really have any negative side of. I mean, it's just your fusion spell, whoop-de-doo. Like it's not like you're in combat; it actually matters. But just to see.
It does. It matters a lot, actually.
Oh,
7-8 specifically.
So then, yeah. Alaric, what's your DC? Because it would be off of your normal DC for the.
Right. Hold on. 16.
Okay, so yeah, Alar and Samuel. You guys are confused.
They joined in my own confusion. Like, I'm not sure what's going on here. Like, it's not working. Come on.
So then I guess just roll 10d10.
No, we get a save at the end of each round.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah, I'll have to. Nothing, save. And then Mister, roll a d10. And then roll on save. So you are right. It does matter. So then, yeah, you'd make an attack roll. So roll a d2. I would imagine you guys are all standing next to the screen. You're fucking around doing this. Or would you, after the first surge, spread out a little bit? Because you did have that first surge that triggered the piercing. So you're aware that it's happening. Would you have spread out from him?
I would have.
I mean,
Okay, so
yes.
Yeah,
if
you
we
guys wouldn't have been
known about
affected by
it.
confusion. Only Alaric would have, and he passed the save. So never mind. Sorry. Yeah, you guys would have seen the first surge happen, and then like, oh shit.
Yep, back 60 feet up.
And then the last one is 86. You see a bunch of Alarics pop up the third time he does it, as mirror image triggers.
Ah.
Yes, well. Some more research is obviously called for.
Yes, it
But
did a thing.
am I still able to try to work out how to tap into that?
Yeah, go ahead, especially with Alar being able to, kind of explain the structure behind how he was casting the spell, and he rolled an 18. So go ahead and make a Arcana check at advantage now that you've tried casting the spell.
Mhm.
To try reworking how you might do it differently, especially with him explaining soul casting to an extent, because there is some reference to it in his book, but nothing concrete. It's just he's read that book through and through so many times
Right.
that he did something by accident correctly, and he has no idea what he did. Yeah, go ahead and try again.
I make sure to stay away from the other guys while I do this, and then I do it again.
And yeah, the dummy goes yeet.
Aha!
You have now destroyed 3 of the training dummies.
And then I take a seat because, like, oh yeah, that's tiring.
Yes. So when you're casting, you do feel the pull on the weaves, and then you get just a little tired. Not like you're drained and you want to go to sleep right away. Just
Yeah. Well, I said just take a seat. Like, oh, like okay, yep, feel that. Yep.
Right, and then I turned to Samuel and start encouraging him and explain like, all right, so obviously it can be taught. So Alaric
All
can
right,
do
I'll
it.
try it.
All
right.
Can I tell him, like, try to teach? Well, actually,
yeah,
he's
with the both of you explaining it to him. Mister, go ahead and roll triple advantage. So 3d20 KH1. With the both of them explaining it,
What kind of save it? Oh, Arcana. Arcana.
Yeah, you're making an Arcana check with 3d20 KH1. Because now you got two people yelling at you how to do it. Yeah. You're pretty sure you might get it this time.
Okay. You want me to do it again?
No, you do want to try it on, you want to try it on the dummy? There's no roll to do it. It just happens.
Yeah.
Soul Magic's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty sure like you're consuming your action economy to do this, but that's all you really can tell. Takes a good majority of your 6 seconds to figure out how to swoop and swipe, and then you basically touch the dummy, and dummy goes yeet.
This is a great skill.
But yeah, you feel the pull on the weaves, and then you feel a little bit of like you worked a muscle you never used before. You have now destroyed 4 dummies. 3 remain.
Victory.
Yeah, but we got some good stuff out of it.
Yep. Yeah, a nice holdout ability that they won't be expecting.
Yeah, because there's no real indication other than the somatic that you're casting a spell, and from your perspective of somatic component, it's just a somatic component. It looks just like you would for casting an arcane spell. But there's no verbal component. There's no material component. Well, that you can physically quantify at this moment.
So what is this touch attack spell called?
You don't know. There's no name for it.
No, alright.
That means we get to name it. Soul
Uh-huh.
Yeet or something.
Soul Eat it is.
It does have a name. It is on the list. You guys just aren't aware of what its
Nope, this
name
is better.
is.
This is the
Yes,
new
but I'm
name.
starting my own list. And it has Soul Yeet right at the top.
And if we find any other
Soul
mention of it,
Eat.
we'll just cross out the name and put Soul Eat right above it. That's
Yep.
how it's gonna be.
And by the way, there is the exclamation point after Yeet.
Mm. Noted.
You guys try using it on each other.
I mean,
Look.
I'd like to know how much damage it does. So I will volunteer for one of them to use it on me. I need to know how. We need to know everything we can about this.
All right. Well, I've already used it twice. So Alaric's probably less depleted than I am. He should try it.
I go
Well-
up to Samuel, touch him, and do the spell.
Well, you're making a spell attack. Can you voluntarily dodge a spell attack? Because you were attacking a dummy, it didn't have an AC for you to hit.
I'm not.
he can voluntarily-
I'm not dodging.
Okay. Yeah. So you do the thing, you touch him, And Samuel,
Actually, just as I'm touching him, I'm like, maybe we shouldn't have the guy that can heal be the guy that gets yeeted. But
I
too late.
mean, too late now.
Well, Alar only has a 10 wisdom.
Samuel, you take 20 force damage and are thrown 30 feet back instantaneously from Alaric.
And I only have an 8 wisdom, so that tracks.
So how you doing, Samuel? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. That didn't kill me.
You feel up to
Well,
casting
wait, I
it once?
hope
There
not.
is one experiment we should do real quick.
Yeah, I'm up to casting it. Sure.
Okay.
I want to see how much. Yeah. What it.
So I assume, being a training ground and the various magical effects that exist in the world, that there exists some place that has kind of like a wall, like of sandbags or something.
Yeah, around the archery targets there are piles of sandbags.
Right. Let's go over there. Let's set up the target like 5 feet from this wall. And how thick is the wall?
It's like 2 bags thick, so just
Okay, so like a foot
and
thick.
a half.
Okay.
Yeah, foot and a half, give or take. Yeah.
So because it has the element of teleportation there, I want to see if this will push them to the other side of the wall without going over or through it.
All right. So you're gonna put a dummy on the side of the wall and then try to push it through the wall with it.
Yeah, like the dummy's 5 feet from the wall. We're gonna hit the dummy aiming at the wall.
Okay.
So it either hits the wall and explodes because it's, hitting a wall, or it appears on the other side of the wall because it's teleporting, which means that we have a way to, it's a bit of a cast from HP method, but a way to enter through a structure's defenses.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Sam, you cast it. How he's instructing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cast it. The dummy looks like it goes flying 30 feet. The wall is unscathed.
Wait, does it go through the wall?
It looks like it moved. Like you watched it from point A to point B, but it moved so quickly, but the wall is untouched.
But the position of where we saw it move intersected the wall.
Correct.
Okay. So it is basically incorporeal, at least, if not actually teleporting.
It's something.
So in a pinch, we have a way to get through a wall without breaking it or having to find an opening.
That's one way to think about using it, yeah.
I mean, it'll be painful as all hell. I'm not suggesting we use it as our first option, but especially if we ever find ourselves getting captured by somebody,
Yeah.
it's a way out.
Or hilariously throwing guards out of castles.
That too. Is it still defenstration if there's no window?
I don't know. Oh, wait. Hold on. We need to do a better test. So, I reset up a dummy, but instead of putting it 5 feet away from the wall, I put it exactly 30 feet away from the wall, and I want to see what happens when it's going to intersect.
Oh,
And
to
then
see if it telefrags in the wall?
Yeah.
All right. Everybody has cast it twice. So who is
I will cast
taking
it
the
again.
tip of the toe on the third casting?
I have
All
no
right.
wisdom for this. I think it's perfectly a great idea. I'm getting my, no.
I will take
metaphysical
notes.
exercising.
Yeah, and I'm perfectly willing to watch this happen.
So yeah, I do that, and then I cast it, and science.
All right. I will need you to make an exhaustion check after you cast it, but we'll cast it first and I'll tell you the results. So, yep, dummy goes flying and it pops to the other side of the wall.
The far side. So it went
Yes.
32 feet, not 30.
Yes.
Ah, so it
Interesting.
displaces.
Yes, but can we extend this much further then?
What do you
Like
mean
if we were to
along the
shoot,
wall?
yeah, like if we had a really long wall, and we shot it at one end of the wall, 300 feet away, would it emerge?
Well, from Alaric and Samuel's journey around the compound itself, you do know that the outer wall is constructed primarily of straight pieces and they meet at irregular angles consistently.
Well, I'd want it to be a temporary structure in case it doesn't come out the end and we have to take it apart to figure out where it ended up.
Well,
As much as a not quite tolerance being the right word, for our exploits on his ground, I don't think he would appreciate it if we started blowing up his defensive walls.
maybe.
No. See, this is what. So either A, we can just do it because we can just say asking for forgiveness is better than asking for permission sometimes. And especially if we get to teach him something new. I think he's big on that. By the way, exhaustion. So that's a Constitution check.
Yep, Constitution check. You feel tired, really tired after doing that.
Yep, 3's hitting pretty hard.
Yeah, you do gain a level of exhaustion.
Yeah.
And just be aware, since we're doing these tests outside of the actual design limits and systems specifications of soul magic, I'm not calculating your guys' EP pools and figuring out depletion thresholds or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
We're just vibing.
Yeah, I figured. What's the worst that could happen? Alaric, you should cast it again.
Well, first let's find a long enough wall.
Yeah, and you remember the open another. 1 second. Open Summer Palace. So yeah, this would be the wall as you remember it. The one that's clipped on the eastern edge is straight all the way to the shore, and it ends in a about 40 feet out into the water in like a pylon pier sort of that you can't walk around on.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the other shore. It goes out into the water quite a ways. So that would be the wall that you remember. So what are you looking for? How long of a piece of wall? Some of those are quite a few 100 feet long.
Well, in theory, the longer the better.
That's what she said.
Giggity. Then the
western segment looks pretty straight.
Yep, that from that beach run all the way up to the greenhouse is one continuous. It does look like there's a kink in the drawing, but we'll just call that one continuous.
All right.
That's let's see, that house is about 1,000 feet.
Okay, we'll call it 1,000
Let's go
feet.
test it.
Yeah. So you guys go north. Take a dummy. Maybe take 2 in case you miss. I'll go to the south end of the wall because I don't have that. I have wings. I can fly. And I'll be looking down over the end of the wall, and I'll use prestidigitation to create a light to signal you like green light to go, red light to abort.
Okay. It's gonna take us a bit because we have to get on the outside wall to get the right angle. But yeah, so just
Yeah, I just fly straight there.
okay. Yeah. So yeah, we do that and get set up.
All right, when I see him ready, I flash a green light using prestidigitation.
All right. Alaric, you're casting again, or is Samuel
Sure,
casting?
I'll cast it again. Why not?
All right. And yeah, you cast it. And I'm assuming you're standing on the outside of the wall, so you can get the angle right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys would go through like the servant gate where that path goes through and touches the wall. There's supposed to be a gate there. It didn't render that time, and I didn't feel like fixing it. So yeah, you go the couple hundred feet to the corner, put the dummy there, cast it, and yeah, dummy disappears into the wall, and about 30 feet down, you see it pop to the outside.
So it made a right turn.
Destroyed.
Ah.
Okay, so it looks like it goes for the nearest unoccupied space, not just continuing until it finds an unoccupied space.
Science. Magical science.
Magical science, yes.
Wizards did it.
Indeed, I did. Yep, that's basically Alaric right there.
Yeah.
The
But
wizarding
you did learn
academic.
something about it.
We have.
It does not extend its own distance. It only goes. I don't even have that written in there. You guys literally made me write that fucking addendum on the rules.
Right, because you let us play with it.
Yeah.
So of
Well,
course
that's fine, I mean-
of course we're going to immediately try to abuse it to make a railgun.
Of course.
Yeah, no, I said no railguns. You already get 5d6 damage out of a fucking cheap EP spell.
Yeah, because otherwise we're gonna show up to that fucking mining camp with a railgun made of soul magic here.
We're gonna start eating like whole ash trees at the like Mach 2
Speaking
into
of
them.
soul magic, Alaric, please give me an exhaustion check at disadvantage. As you now feel really tired, and yes, you gain 2 levels of exhaustion.
So so that's another 2.
3.
Okay.
Yes, you gained 2, so you're at 3.
Yep. I'm just gonna.
At the current level of growth, I would suggest not casting any more today,
Yeah.
because the next one will kill you.
I was gonna say, I'm just curious now. Hang on. Alar, what is your sorcerer? So charisma would probably be your highest mental, so that'd be the one that you'd pick for your soul magic math.
Did you mean Alaric?
Did I say Alar? Sorry,
Yeah.
Alaric.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your charisma is your highest score, right?
Correct.
What's your charisma mod?
+5.
+5. What's your con mod?
+1.
And what's your guys' current proficiency? 3?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll say that he just has 3 levels exhaustion. We won't do the actual math.
He
hard.
blew himself up, didn't he?
He depleted his soul twice. That's a 10 EP. You have 24 EP at your current state. Yeah, that's the calculations. It's con plus mental stat plus proficiency times proficiency.
Just end up
Really?
turning into that guy at the end of Indiana Jones in the.
Yeah,
Search
so
for the
there
Holy Grail.
there is a theoretical limit and there is a theoretical min max you can do on it.
Oh shit! I might have done that accidentally. Huh? That's funny.
Well, you bump your con naturally when you're building the wizard that you have right now because that's your worst stat to not put points into, and you don't need dex or strength, so it makes sense just go int con for a wizard build.
Yeah, which is what I did.
But even though because you're
So
you know
what-
you're only level 8, your proficiency is 3. That's where the scaling happens to kind of keep it linear with the
Mhm.
progression level of regular D&D. So yeah, the theoretical max for soul magic is 96.
What's
But
the
you
thing?
you can go Constitution plus 1 mental stat of your choice plus proficiency. Whatever that number is, you multiply it by your proficiency. That would be what your EP
Oh, I
is.
use charisma and charisma and constitution then. As a
Yeah.
paladin.
Yeah, the whole design of the system is it's meant for even marshals can use this magic. That's the whole. It's a not ambiguous system. No, what's the word?
It's a general
Agnostic.
system.
It is class agnostic. It does not care what your class is. It just uses a mental stat of your choice. You can't change it once you pick it, but you typically wouldn't. Because that's basically how you're channeling it, is your mental capacity to understand it. So you're using your charisma, Alaric's using his charisma, Alar's using his intelligence. But yeah, that's not going to come up until another couple levels. That's when we'll actually have the soul magic integrated into the game, because there is a trigger event where you guys get it. But Alar just happened to roll on my fucking table and just happened to find a soul rune.
And now, see, this unlocks other things because Alar is an academic.
Mm-hmm.
So now, because he knows that these runes are somatic components, what if he starts combining other sets of tri runes together?
Potentially, I'd have to do some off-screen. I'd have to do some off-screen stuff, but potentially, because of your actual comprehension, like Alaric and Samuel were able to cast this spell because you explained it enough, and they kept trying enough that they were actually able to push through the learning curve. But for you, you have a slight advantage. So, like, even if you learn something, there might not be a guarantee that they figure it out. But you might be able to. So, but I'd still have to sit down and, actually make my rune system a thing. I just grabbed 3 random runes, and yeah, there's in total in my setting there is about 1,000 runes in total, and a lot of them are like, similar movement and teleport and stuff like that, but they do different things in combination, and then they're also used as coordinates for teleportation spell, and that would be a string of 7 of them. Not TM Stargate. I just picked 7 for, and I locked my computer up somehow.
Well, you see, that's one of those spells I experimented with.
Yeah. See, he found the other chevron.
He unlocked the 8th chevron, and this computer locked.
Didn't they use 8 numbers to get to Atlantis?
Yep.
Yeah.
They did.
Yep, and then they used 9 to get to the universe ship.
Universe ship, yeah.
Yeah, because they are at the Dumanu special planet twin brother.
Yeah, and they were running out of phone number metaphors to use.
We need more power, so we need a special planet. And I actually started rewatching it because it's on Amazon. I was like, yeah, I remember why I stopped watching this one.
Hayes has been making us watch that occasionally. Universe is my least favorite.
Oh yeah, I was saying,
For sure.
well, the thing is, I grew up in Atlantis era, so I watched Atlantis with my friends. We're all science fiction nerds, and they're the house that I watch is Mike, and their family is a huge fan of Atlantis, and so they had the box Blu-ray set, and every time we were over there, we'd always at least watch one episode, and whenever I was with them, we'd pick up wherever I last watched, even though they're watching it at some other chain of time custody. But they'd always ask me, well, which episode did you watch last? And I was like, this one. And so then we'd watch the next one. So I watched it in order over the course of like a year and a half hanging out at their house.
Yeah.
And so that was my first Stargate exposure. And then it was actually under that, because I had watched SG-1, but it was under that said, no, watch it through and then watch the movies too. And once I did that, then Atlantis started making more sense because there's a lot of the overlap in Atlantis
Yeah.
where they,
Oh,
O'Neill shows up and
A lot,
because they
especially early Atlantis, depends on context from SG1.
exactly. And I didn't know that. I just like Atlantis. It makes sense. It's good. And then you watch SG1, and it's like, oh, now that fucking
Yeah,
makes
now,
sense.
now it really makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when you
And-
have Daniel Jackson draw the 7 points, be like, oh, fuck, that's why.
Yeah. Daniel Jackson and Rodney McKay, their tag team episode was great.
Oh yeah, when with the Asgard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. With the Atero device, yeah, they're like,
Yeah,
wait, we need to shut this off. Oh, why would and the Daniel Jackson is just pure like, but why logic the whole time with Rodney?
But why?
He's like, well, we'll make an explosion, and why would people run towards it? That's probably one of my favorite exchanges between them two.
Mhm.
Well, also the episodes at SG1 where Daniel Jackson's like, part of like the training of the new guys.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's like, yeah, and then I hide behind Teal'c. Or O'Neill if he's closer.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then the training is just how to use like the actual military guys as mobile cover.
Yep.
I mean, Daniel's character went through the weirdest arcs. I
Uh-huh.
mean, he
Well,
was.
he already died like 3 times.
4.
Yeah, but that was the point.
It became a running
was-
gag that Daniel died.
Well,
Yeah.
so there's 2
Well,
running
they started the show off with him dead.
gags. 3 gags, my bad. Keeps dying, keeps getting a wife, and then like he's just like the best with the M9. He's just there rocking the M9 pistols at like in the Continuum movie.
Oh
I know
yeah, that's
everybody
right. Yeah,
else
he's
is 90s.
he's the pistol guy. Like he always has his sidearm, and he's actually damn fucking good with it.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
the thing is if you only train on one weapons platform, you typically get better with it over time, and they did a really good job showing that in the show. And then there's fucking McKay, which I think they did intentionally make the joke that, yeah, Jackson's good with a pistol, and then McKay is just this cowering scientist who, when he pulls his pistol, drops the fucking mag out because he doesn't do guns.
I mean, Atlantis got weird though. I stopped. I liked Atlantis, and then they started, and then they got to Universe, and I did.
Oh yeah, Universe. Yeah, no, Universe was.
Yeah, Universe was bad. Atlantis, I think they could have gotten another
Late
season.
late
Yeah, I was gonna say
season
season
started.
5 it felt rushed, and I think it was actually production rushed.
Yeah, because I think they weren't. They knew that they weren't going to get another season.
Yeah, I think they ran out of funding. They're basically like, all right, we are gonna squeeze it all in, and then they're like, yeah, and then the Wraith Hive ship using ZPMs is all of a sudden a super Hive ship, and it's like, huh?
More power.
That's literally not. I mean, I understand the it uses power that they explained. It's like, but there's still like the structural limitation is what always bugged me. If it's
Oh, yeah.
organic, even if it's designed for the the hard radiation of space, it's still organic. It is going to have an upper limit of structural integrity. If you build something out of metal, that metal still has an upper limit of structural integrity.
But got to see Atlantis and the Hive ship fight it out, which was decently interesting.
Yeah, they did a good job saving a lot of budget for that end fight. And then
they were
Ronan
going-
surviving was probably the best. Like they actually did a decent job pulling one over on that one. You see him dead, and it's like, no, he's the main character. He can't be dead. And then they just keep him off screen for a long ass fucking time. And then you see it. It's like, oh, okay, fuck, cool, he's back. Ronan is one of my favorites. I love Jason Momoa.
Yeah, and it took me the longest time to connect that Jason Momoa, was in Atlantis after.
That was one of his starting.
I know, but I didn't know. Like, I didn't make the connection until a little bit later. I was like, oh wait a minute. Oh shit.
Yeah, so that was one of his career starters.
Did
It's also a career ender for a couple of people.
Well, yeah. But I liked when him and Shepard were comparing guns, and Shepard showing him all the Earth guns, and then Shepard just
Yeah,
Ronan
he's like, this is a
recognized
P90. Starts explaining it. Ronan just picks it up. Mag dumps perfect accuracy. This is an M9. Picks it up. Mag dumps perfect accuracy. And Ronan's like, I prefer this.
Boom.
blows a hole in the target.
And he like leans over, and is like, I can see why.
Yep.
But
Then
I
the
mean,
that's probably one of the better episodes too. Is the Ronan Teal'c episode?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, that one's so good.
Yeah, there's a lot of once you get past the first season of SG1, it's really pretty good.
I'll say, and then oh yeah, my other favorite episode is the O'Neill Woolsey replicator episode.
That's good.
Yeah, what does
Uh,
like Woolsey is just like, "Huh, where'd they go? What? I don't know. I'm sitting right next to you. I have the same information you do."
yeah. Woolsey was also a great character. He got a good.
Yeah. Well, they same with McKay. So
Oh,
they
yeah.
intentionally made McKay and Woolsey very hateable on SG1, and then they redeemed them both in Atlantis very well.
Yeah, and I like, speaking of McKay, I like the first episode he's on where the Stargate's about to explode because of Anubis.
Oh
and
yeah.
strapping it to the F302.
Uh-huh.
That was a good pair of episodes.
He just keeps calling Sam like, "You're a fucking moron. You're gonna kill everybody," and Sam figures it out.
Oh yeah, well, because again, like that was his like first episode, if I remember correctly. So yeah, he was the asshole.
Was that his first? That might have been. Was it?
It's either his
No, yeah.
first or his second.
Teal'c Trapped was second for sure. Second or third. So yeah, I think it was the Anubis Overcharge episode.
I like Jonas Quinn. I mean, he's not as good as Daniel Jackson, but like I didn't mind him.
Yeah. Well, I like that they made him unique. Like this race of humans seem to have been modified, and his learning curve was like higher. Like I like that they gave him something credible that made sense. Because you had other races of humans that were on a different developmentary path, and like the ones that use the nanites for memory transfer, and O'Neill tried to save the girl, and eventually got her memory wiped basically because they took her brain nodes out and put them in everybody else's. But because of what he did, they learned how to teach again.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, session's over. Session's over.